Hallo Leute, was geht ab? Willkommen zurück. It's me again, Jacqueline. Today we are going to talk about der, die, das. They all mean the in English. In fact, this is gonna be a series of 4 videos to cover all of this craziness. For those of you who already have basic German knowledge, you probably know that der is for masculine noun, die is for feminine nouns, and das is for neuter nouns. Der Mann, die Frau und das Kind. Yup, simple as that. But have you thought about what exactly define these? Let's dive in a little deeper, shall we? I'm gonna break these down into 4 parts so that we can learn it in a simpler and better way. First, German cases. There are 4 cases in German language: Nominativ, Accusativ, Dativ, und Genitiv. Second, quantifier, whether the noun is singular or plural. Third, noun gender. It basically means the articles change based on whether the noun is masculine, feminine, or neuter. Fourth, the last part, also the best part. This part is gonna show you the shortcut to identify how to use the 3 parts that I've just mentioned by looking at the noun's ending. Before getting into those 4 parts, we first have to look at this declension table, as known as Deklination in German. Deklination is basically what this whole video is all about. It means the articles der, die, das will be declined into den, dem, des, depending on the sentence structure. What do I mean by sentence structure? The sentence structure are formed based on what I've mentioned earlier in the first 3 parts. What cases we are using is the noun masculine or feminine, singular or plural. So these are the key elements to form a sentence. And the way how we structure a sentence will dictate which article we should use in a sentence that is grammatically correct, just like what it is shown in this table. On the left, we have the 4 cases. On the top row, we have the grammatical genders and the quantifier. You can see there's only plural on the far right, because the first 3 columns are singular. So this is how I remember it, but feel free to use any way that you personally find it comfortable or a more effective way to memorize all these, okay? Just remember, on the first 2 rows in nominative and accusative, everything remains the same, except for the masculine article der. It changes from der to den when it's used in accusative form. And the third row, which is dative, the most crucial one in my opinion, because this is where everything becomes different. Again, the masculine article changes from den to dem. Now that the feminine article suddenly used the masculine article, imagine it like the wife follows the husband, changing it from die to der. Remember, for feminine article, it's either die or der when used among these 4 cases. Now the neuter articles. Imagine it like a child, following the father, which is masculine article, changing from das to dem. In the meantime, plural don't care about anybody, it just changes from das to den. Here comes the last, but this is the least important one because genitive is not used that much. So I just simply remember it like this. Genitive is the only one that uses this, and you can see it in the repeated pattern. Des, der, des, der. Basically, you just have to remember the first 2 because the later is the same. All good? Alrighty. Now we are gonna try to apply what we have just learned from this table in some examples. Nominative. It focuses on the subject who takes the action. Zum Beispiel, die Frau kocht. The woman cooks. The subject is the woman who takes an action, which is cooking. Accusative. It focuses on the direct object, which is affected by the action. Zum Beispiel, die Frau kocht den Käse. Originally, it should be der Käse. Because it is written in accusative form, der has to be declined to den. Next, dative. It focuses on the indirect object, as known as the recipient of the direct object. Zum Beispiel, Die Frau kocht dem Mann den Käse. The woman cooks the man the cheese. Since this sentence is written in inductive form, der Mann should be declined to dem Mann. Genitive. This is just like how we use apostrophe s in English, but in German they don't use that. They will just put the object before the one who owns the object. Zum Beispiel, das ist der Käse der Frau. It is written in genitive form. The article has to be declined from die to der. Das ist der Käse der Frau. This is the woman's cheese. Alright, now we have done the first part, which is the hardest one. Moving on to the second part. Okay, let's just reuse the same examples from the inductive, but tweaking the sentence a tiny bit. Die Frau kocht dem Mann den Käse. We have only one person. To add one or more people into this example, you can write a sentence like this. Die Frau kocht den Männern den Käse. You can see that the articles has changed from dem to den, and the noun has changed from Mann to Männer. Remember that when in plural and inductive form, you have to change from die to den. Why? That's just how it works. However, you can also write a similar sentence like this. Die Frau kocht den Käse für die Männer. It delivers the exact same meaning, but just adding in a preposition für. Both are grammatically correct, but it seems like the second one is more commonly used. Okay, so you might wonder why the heck die Männer is used in this sentence instead of den. Let's decode these together. As we know, die is for plural, but the main reason that is using die is because there is a preposition für used before the noun in plural form, which is die Männer. So when preposition like für is used, it does not follow the general declination table that I showed you. Don't worry, we'll talk more about the change of noun ending based on the plural form and how to use both the preposition and the articles correctly in a sentence next time. Coming to the third part, German noun gender, which we have already covered since the beginning of this video. At this point, I believe you already know that every noun has a gender assigned to it. But how do we know which noun is masculine, feminine, or neuter? This would lead us to the last part. Learn the shortcuts to identify the noun gender. Let's first remember the numbers 10, 12, 7. 10, 12, 7. 10 is for der, 12 is for die, 7 is for das. We have 10 noun endings for the masculine articles, 12 for feminine, and 7 for neuter. To use the masculine article der, you can try to spot the nouns that end with er. Zum Beispiel, alright, we are done with der. Now we are gonna look at die. The last article, das. I understand there are quite a lot to remember, so to make our lives easier, I'm gonna list down 5 key takeaways of each article. So when do you use der? When you see the nouns end with er, or when you want to use it on alcoholic drinks, or you want to use it on the names of mountains and lakes, or you want to use it on days, months, and seasons, the direction, the map location, the winds, the points of the compass. When do you use die? When you see the nouns end with in or e. When you use die in plural nouns. When you want to use it on flowers, trees. When you use it on cardinal numbers. When you use it on the borrowed nouns from English. And when do you use das? The nouns end with o. Graphic place names or other places like the names of hotels, cafes, theaters. Also, most matters use das. Fractioned, like the quarter, half, and also the colors. Congratulations guys, you have made it. This video mainly focuses on how to use the articles based on singular form, together with the German cases and the noun gender. And of course, we have also learned about the quick way to identify the most common genders nouns ending that help us to decide which gender article to use. But the next video, we'll be talking about how to use the articles based on plural form, together with the German cases and the noun gender that change the noun ending. So the next one will be plural plus noun endings. Stay tuned. Tschüss!